Okay, you're welcome back. This is about CSS selector. Now, this aspect is very important. Don't forget when we're declaring um, CSS rule, we said we have selector. Then after selector, we have the declaration part. This selector can be HTML selector, it can be class selector, and it can be ID selector. Let's look at the differences among them. The HTML selector is the text part of an HTML tag. If you notice, we have been doing HTML selector because each one is HTML tag. So this kind of selector is HTML. There is nothing I'm writing in front of it. So it's just a plain HTML tag. That's a selector. And it will only affect that HTML element that you apply it to. Like you notice, in our website, it only affects all the H1. Every other element remains untouched. Now, the second one is class selector. It is the one you create by yourself to be used anywhere on your page. And we always precede it. In front of it, you are going to put period, a dot in front of your class selector. The third one is ID selector. It's similar to class selector, but it can only be applied to only an element on the page. You also create it by yourself, but you precede it with hash. Now, what I'm talking about may appear to be jargon to you. You understand it by the time we experiment with it. You already know HTML selector. When you pick maybe body tag, like on this page now, if I try to style body tag, body, I just say body, open curly brace like this, and I say background color light gray. So I just separate with space so that it will be readable. Okay, this is body tag. I open curly brace, I close it here, and I apply just a single property. So the whole body, we have light gray color like this. So that is light gray color, no more white background. So that is, this body is HTML selector. But let's say my about section in the index.html, let me look for an element like paragraph. I give it class of headline. This paragraph that talks about software developer, data scientist, and researcher, I give it a class and I call it headline. Now, what will happen to this part if I want to style it? So what I'm going to do, I'll go to style.css. I'll come down, I will say dot headline. Oh my God. The AI integration to my VS Code is giving me auto suggestion. So, okay, let me just accept it. Font size is 20 pixels. So I want to turn the font size of this headline to 20 pixels. I want it to be bold, font weight, that is to make it bold, and color to be dark blue. Okay, so if I refresh, that is what I have. It's bigger, it's bold, and the color is a dark blue. Because, and I don't forget that I preceded headline with a dot. Anytime you are using class selector, if you apply class attribute to any HTML element like this, class equals to headline. That is how you style it. Now the last one is ID selector. ID selector. We have been using ID before. For example, if I go back to my index, we apply ID here. This division tag, this top part, this part where I have my name and the image. That will be the whole of this part. So it's a div. Let's give it a background color. A background color. and it already has ID called heading. So I will come down, I will say hash heading. Okay. Now, anytime you are using ID, if you want to style it in your external CSS, you have to precede it with hash. That is what I was trying to explain here. That ID selector is similar to a class selector, but you use them to identify a particular element. It cannot be applied to other similar elements on the page except the element to which it is assigned. It is preceded by hash tag like this. So when you are styling, you are using ID selector. You can use either class or ID. So, but let's stick with ID for now. For this div, this section, I give it ID equals to heading. And in my style, I say hash heading. So the meaning of that is that every element in this div tag, any property I apply to this hash heading will affect them. So let's give it background color first equals to, let's give it light sea green. I'm going to talk about color later. You can't memorize color. So you see what happened there? The background color is applied to that section that I applied, this section that I give ID equals to heading. And don't forget that we use this ID equals to heading for our navigation. The other time. So, but this time around I'm using it for styling also. Background color is that. Now, this heading, if I change the font size, if I give it font size, I say font size of 18 pixel, for example, and I refresh. See? 18, let me increase it. So maybe 25. And let's see what happens. So it increases that to 25. But the reason why we are not seeing the effect is because this one already has its own style, H1. You see, it takes precedence. Because the styling you apply to the child element takes priority over the styling you apply to the parent element. So this paragraph, I gave it class equals to headline. Both of these two elements, I've already styled them. If you notice, I have styled them. This H1. So if I remove if I remove some things there, like okay, let's talk about this headline. Let me remove the headline, the class. If I remove this font size, not heading, headline. If I delete that one, the way I deleted was I just put cursor here. I press Shift Control K. We delete anywhere your cursor is blinking. That line will be deleted. If I refresh, you see that this headline becomes bigger. It's now acquiring font 25. Let me give it 35 so that you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so this one becomes bigger, this one also becomes bigger. So that is what it is. So any font size you apply for this heading, because the heading belongs to the old div, all the elements that are text element, like paragraph, like H1, they will also acquire font size. I don't think we want that for our heading. Let's delete that. And let's go back to status quo. All right. So that is that. So what I want to point out here is that we can use ID selector by applying ID by an element, and we can use class selector, which start with dot, by applying class to an element, like a headline here. So I'm going to remove this for now. Let's see how it affects. Okay, it becomes smaller. Okay, let me retain it, Ctrl Z. Let's go to style and give it font size. No, font size be 20 pixel or maybe 25 pixel. The case may be. You have the liberty to do yours. Okay, it makes it bigger there. So that is it. Now, the next thing I'm going to talk about is how to do these things practically so that our page will look better. So in this case, there is a principle in web design and development that you should allow more white area on your web page. So for that reason alone, the background color I apply, I'm going to remove the background color. I will leave the body there. Okay. I'll remove the background color so that it will be white. It's good for a web page to have more white section like that. Then this about me, I want it to have, I want it to be at the middle. And I don't want this blue background. I don't want this blue background again. So what I'm going to do now is that the H1 that I apply background color to, I'm going to remove it so that all my H1 tag will return back to status quo, though they are still white. So I'm going to remove the color white. Okay. I'll refresh. All right. So that is what I have there. Now, what I'm going to do now is that let's start from the top. Let's do the styling from the top. Now, I'm going to stop here. In the next video, I will wrap up this CSS part by styling this page and make it look better. Thank you for listening.